Donald Trump started his second term by issuing 26 executive orders, 10 of which were aimed at immigrants. When it comes to immigration, Donald Trump says he is pro-legal immigration and against what he calls illegal immigration. But as the famous saying goes, action speaks louder than words. And though he frames these executive orders as actions to curb unauthorized entries into the United States, their impact is really widespread and curtails the lawful means to enter the U.S. My name is Ingrid Perez. I'm an immigration attorney and founder of IBP Immigration Law, where we help individuals, businesses, and families with all of their immigration needs. I'm also a proud immigrant, and I'm here today to talk about what we can expect in the first 100 days of Donald Trump's second administration. Let's get to it. Okay, so everybody knows that Donald Trump talks a big game about immigration. He basically blames immigrants for all of America's problems. My take is that he knows he won't be able to fully curb illegal immigration, and he probably won't be able to effect the mass deportation that he's promising. So he's gonna do everything possible to prevent people from entering the United States regardless, even if they are seeking visas to work, study, and visit. First, let's talk about people escaping persecution and seeking asylum. Donald Trump's executive orders have led to immediate impacts on refugees and asylum seekers. He issued several executive orders declaring a national emergency at the border, mandating detention, expediting removals, reinstating the Remain in Mexico program, and many others. He says that this is aimed at tightening vetting procedures, constraining refugee living locations, and removing people from the United States. And as a result, churches, schools, hospitals are now all targets for ICE raids. Many people waiting to come to the US also had their flights canceled. These include Afghan refugees and military family members. Asylum seekers at the US-Mexican border had their appointments at ports of entries canceled. They were trying to come in the right way by making an appointment to request asylum, but now that has ended. And remember, they were making appointments to request entry. The entry in and of itself is not always guaranteed. The CBP appointment app was created to make this process more orderly and safe, and now it has been shut down. Other immigration policies were announced, including bringing back Remain in Mexico and targeting sanctuary cities that offer some protection to undocumented immigrants. Next up, we're talking about humanitarian parole. Donald Trump has issued an executive order terminating the humanitarian parole program for people from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. This program was started by the Biden administration to temporarily allow people to come to the United States from these countries. Donald Trump's order is stressing his administration's commitment to halting what it terms as an unprecedented flood of illegal aliens coming to the United States. But this is a misnomer. These people are not illegal. They follow the process to enter and they were allowed in. And like I said, he claims to be pro-legal immigration, but he's really not. His actions are targeting lawful ways to enter the US. Unfortunately, it's uncertain what the future holds for the hundreds of thousands of people already living in the United States under humanitarian parole. People who were approved were permitted to stay in the US for up to 2 years, get work permits, and they were shielded from deportations. And the program has played a huge role in reducing unlawful crossings from these countries at the US-Mexican border. And this signifies a major shift in immigration policy, and it's impacting the legal status and future options for a large number of individuals who enter the US through the humanitarian parole program. Now let's talk about birthright citizenship. Trump signed an executive order titled Protecting the Meaning and Value of American Citizenship, which is his attempt to end birthright citizenship for certain children born in the United States. This was challenged immediately in the courts. A judge blocked it, calling it blatantly unconstitutional. And basically, the executive order says that the government is not going to recognize citizenship to anyone whose mother is present in the United States without authorization and the father is not a US citizen or a green card holder. And it's also not going to recognize citizenship for anyone whose mother is present in the US with authorization and the father is not a US citizen or a green card holder. This will probably definitely hit the Supreme Court, and it's very unlikely that it will stand, but you never know because this Supreme Court is incredibly conservative. And if they do uphold this, it's going to impact so many people. anyone whose mother is in the United States with a valid non-immigrant visa, like a student visa, an E2, H-1B, L-1, OPT, but the father is not a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, they are not going to be U.S. citizens. And in this specific scenario, I'm thinking about the millions of people with valid non-immigrant status living here in the United States. Maybe they're working, paying taxes, and building their families. Their children under this executive order are not U.S. citizens. For Indian nationals, for example, in the United States with H-1B status, waiting sometimes 10, 20, or more years for a green card through their employment, this means their kids are not U.S. citizens. Again, I think this is just another way to curb legal immigration under the pretense of curbing illegal immigration. Banning birthright citizenship for children of undocumented immigrants and for lawful non-immigrants through executive action is unlawful, inhumane, and an abuse of the president's authority. This right is protected by the Constitution, and I trust that those who fight to protect the Constitution will win. Finally, I want to go over the executive order that I think is the one to watch and will have major impact on all types of immigration, including enhanced vetting and possible future travel bans. Donald Trump issued an executive order requiring enhanced security screening and vetting of anyone applying for U.S. visas, entry into the United States, or immigration benefits. Under this order, the various agencies must establish screening and vetting standards and procedures for all visa applicants. The executive order states that these standards and procedures should be consistent with those in effect during the first Trump administration. And it says that everyone must be vetted, quote, to the maximum extent possible, particularly people coming from countries or regions with identified security risks. And this is alarming because the United States already does vetting for anybody applying for an immigration benefit. We also have the public charge rule that most immigrants are already subject to. If you're applying for a visa or other immigration benefits, you should expect to see more intense screening and more delays almost immediately. And that's not all. Within 60 days of the executive order, the State Department, DHS, DOJ, and the Director of National Intelligence must jointly submit a report identifying countries for which restrictions must be recommended. Now, you may remember the Muslim bans during Trump 1.0, so I'm expecting new travel bans to come into effect. I know these changes sound overwhelming, but there are things you can do to protect yourself and your loved ones. Stay informed. Policies change quickly, and staying up to date is crucial. Subscribe to our channel, and we'll keep you posted on the latest developments. Organize your documents, whether you're applying for a visa, defending against removal, or petitioning a family member. Having well-organized set of documents can really strengthen your case. Seek legal advice. The earlier you consult with an attorney, the better your chances of successfully navigating these changes. My contact information is on my website. My office is ready to help you. Immigration law is constantly evolving, and these executive orders are just the beginning. If you have questions or concerns, leave your questions in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share with anyone who might need this information. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.